Have you ever felt like time is quietly slipping through your fingers, like sand you can't hold no matter how tightly you close your hand? Days turn into weeks, weeks into years, and somewhere between comfort and distraction, we lose ourselves. You tell yourself, tomorrow, I'll start. But tomorrow comes dressed as today, and before you know it, the sun has set again on another day you never really lived. This is where most people remain trapped in a loop of small comforts and big regrets. But the Stoics warned us long ago, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. What we fear, failure, pain, judgment, are shadows, not walls. And yet, we let these shadows hold us still, while life passes us by. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think." It sounds stark, but it's not. It's a reminder. A shock to the system. Because once you understand that every minute could be your last, you begin to see time for what it truly is: your most valuable currency. You can lose money and earn it back. You can lose friends and find new ones. But once you lose time, it's gone forever. We waste so much of it chasing things that mean nothing: the approval of strangers, the illusion of comfort, the endless scroll of content that gives us the feeling of progress without the pain of it. We confuse motion for meaning. But the truth is, most people aren't living, they're merely existing. Lesson 1: Face the weight of time. If you wish to stop wasting your life, you must first feel how fragile it truly is. You must stand face to face with the reality that you will not be here forever, that every morning you wake up, someone else doesn't. This isn't meant to depress you, it's meant to awaken you. The Stoics practiced memento mori, the reflection on death, not to live in fear, but to live in clarity. To remember that every second matters. That every delay is a thief dressed in comfort. Epictetus said, "How long are you going to wait before you demand the best of yourself?" Ask yourself that, not tomorrow, not later, but now. How long will you keep postponing your potential? Every second you hesitate, life moves on without you. And there's nothing crueler than realizing that the version of you who could have been the one who worked harder, thought deeper, loved stronger will never exist, because you were too afraid to start. So, pause for a moment. Breathe. Look at your hands. Your heartbeat. Your breath. You are alive for now. And that is everything. This is your wake-up call, the Stoic beginning. The first step toward discipline, focus, and meaning is not in doing more. It's in realizing how little time you truly have and how much of it you've already lost. What if I told you that every excuse you've ever made, every reason, every "I'll do it later" is a lie your comfort told to keep you weak? Think about it. How many times have you said, "I don't have time," when the truth was you had hours, you just didn't have discipline? How often have you told yourself, "I'm not ready yet," when deep down, you knew readiness was never coming? Excuses are the most beautiful lies. They sound gentle, reasonable, even kind. But they are chains. And most people wear them proudly, mistaking them for wisdom. The Stoics taught that nothing enslaves the human mind more than its own justifications. We tell ourselves stories that protect our ego: "I'm too tired, I'm too old, I don't have the resources, others have it easier." But what if none of that is true? What if the only thing standing between you and your potential is the story you keep repeating? Seneca once wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." Let that sink in. You were never given too little time, you were just too generous with how you spent it. Here's the hard truth: you cannot become strong while defending your weakness. Every moment you spend explaining why you can't is a moment stolen from what you could have done. Every excuse is an agreement you make with mediocrity. And mediocrity is patient, it doesn't need to defeat you today. It just needs to make you wait one more day. But the Stoics believed in ownership, radical ownership. To them, life was not something that happened to you. It was something you created. Epictetus, born a slave, found freedom not through circumstance but through control of his mind. He said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." That's the essence of discipline, mastering yourself before the world does. So, here's lesson 2, stop defending your limitations. You can have results, or you can have excuses, never both. When you catch yourself saying, "I can't," what you really mean is "I won't." Because if something truly mattered to you, you'd make it happen even if it meant failing again and again. Now ask yourself what would happen if, for just one day, you stopped making excuses. If you woke up tomorrow and refused to justify your laziness, your fears, your doubts, what would change? You might discover that you're not weak, not unlucky, not late, just undisciplined. And that's fixable. Remember this, the world rewards action, not intention. No one will remember what you meant to do, only what you actually did. And if you can master the art of doing without delay, you've already separated yourself from the majority of people still negotiating with their excuses. So stay till the end of this video, because the next lesson will show you how to build a mindset so strong that nothing, not fear, not failure, not fatigue, can stop your progress. That's not motivation. That's Stoic power, the kind that turns ordinary people into legends of their own life. When was the last time you were truly present, not scrolling, not multitasking, not half listening, but fully there? Most people can't remember. Their attention has been divided into 1,000 fragments, scattered across notifications, trends, and noise. They live in a world that profits from distraction, and every time you lose focus, someone else gains from it. But the Stoics, they understood something that modern life has forgotten: the ability to control your attention is the foundation of freedom. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Your thoughts are not random, they are directed by what you choose to focus on. And whatever you focus on expands. You think about your failures long enough, you'll find more reasons to fail. You think about growth, you'll start moving toward it without even realizing. But here's the problem: you're in a constant battle for your focus. Every app, every advertisement, every digital whisper is fighting for it. The war is invisible, but it's real. And every time you surrender a few minutes to mindless scrolling, you lose more than time, you lose clarity. You lose purpose. You lose yourself. The Stoics trained their minds like warriors train their bodies, through repetition, through resistance, through awareness. They practiced attention. They knew that a scattered mind cannot achieve peace, and a distracted man cannot build greatness. So, lesson 3, guard your focus like your life depends on it, because it does. Seneca warned that to be everywhere is to be nowhere. When you chase every thought, every trend, every notification, you scatter your energy so thin that nothing meaningful grows from it. That's why most people live exhausted, not because they work too hard, but because they focus on too many useless things. So here's the truth. You don't need more time. You need fewer distractions. You don't need more motivation. You need less noise. The Stoic path is simple, it's the art of subtraction. Remove the unnecessary, and the essential will appear. Every time you sit to do something meaningful, your mind will resist. It will whisper, "Check your phone. Take a break. You've earned it." But that voice is not your friend, it's the voice of weakness. The same weakness that has stolen years from you while you told yourself you were resting. Focus isn't a gift, it's a choice you make every single moment. And if you want to live a life of purpose, you must become ruthless with your attention. Turn it into a weapon. Point it only at what matters: your craft, your growth, your peace. Everything else is a distraction disguised as comfort. So the next time your phone buzzes or your mind wanders, pause and remember this: every distraction has a cost. Every moment of focus is an investment. Which one are you choosing right now? Have you ever wondered why the hardest moments of your life are the ones that shape you the most? Why comfort feels good but leaves you empty, while pain feels unbearable but makes you grow? That's not coincidence. That's nature. That's Stoicism. The Stoics believed that struggle is not an obstacle to greatness, it's the path to it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Read that again. What stands in your way, the thing you hate, the challenge you fear, the problem you wish would disappear, that's exactly what will make you stronger. You see, life doesn't hand you growth wrapped in comfort. It gives it to you through trials, through disappointment, through loss. Because strength isn't built when things are easy. It's built when everything inside you screams to give up, and you don't. But here's the mistake most people make: they run from pain. They think struggle means something's wrong, when in reality, it's proof that something real is happening. The muscle only grows when it's torn. The mind only sharpens when it's tested. The soul only expands when it's challenged. Lesson 4, stop avoiding the hard things, they are your teachers. When you avoid struggle, you don't escape suffering, you just trade one kind for another. You exchange the short-term pain of discipline for the lifelong pain of regret. Seneca said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." The Stoics didn't pray for an easy life, they prayed for the strength to endure a hard one. They knew that adversity is not punishment, it's preparation. Every obstacle you face is a rehearsal for greatness. Think about it: when has growth ever come from comfort? Your best stories, your deepest wisdom, your greatest breakthroughs, they were born in the fire, not the sunlight. So why keep running from the fire? Here's the truth: life is training you. Every hardship, every rejection, every failure, it's all refining you for something greater. If you can learn to see struggle not as suffering, but as a signal, a sign that you're alive and becoming stronger, then no difficulty can truly defeat you. The Stoic mindset isn't about ignoring pain, it's about transforming it. It's about saying, "This hurts, but I'll use it." Every setback becomes fuel. Every wound becomes wisdom. Every fall becomes part of your rise. So, the next time life hits you hard, don't curse it. Don't ask, "Why me?" Ask instead, "What is this trying to teach me?" Because every challenge you overcome is one less thing that can ever control you again. And when you finally realize that your pain was never your enemy, it was your initiation, that's when you stop fearing struggle. That's when you start growing on purpose. How many times have you waited for the perfect moment to start? That magical day when motivation strikes, when conditions are right, when you finally feel ready? But what if that moment never comes? What if greatness was never about feeling ready, but about showing up even when you're not? Here's a truth the Stoics lived by: excellence is not born in bursts of inspiration, it's built in the silence of repetition. Marcus Aurelius didn't wake up every day motivated to rule Rome justly. Epictetus didn't feel inspired every time he taught philosophy. Seneca didn't always find words that flowed easily. But they showed up. They did the work because to the Stoics, discipline was not a punishment, it was a form of love. Discipline is what separates the dreamers from the doers. Anyone can feel inspired for a moment, but discipline turns those moments into a legacy. You want to stop wasting time? Then stop waiting to feel like it. Stop worshipping motivation. Start building discipline. Lesson 5, build systems, not moods. The Stoics believed that if something is important, it should be done whether you feel like it or not. When you only act according to emotion, you live like a slave ruled by impulses, not intention. But when you act out of principle, when you do what must be done, regardless of how you feel, that's freedom. Seneca once said, "If a man knows not which port he sails, no wind is favorable." Routine gives your life direction. It's not meant to trap you, it's meant to free you from chaos. Because without structure, your mind becomes a battlefield, one where distraction, laziness, and regret always win. Discipline doesn't look dramatic. It's not glamorous. It's the quiet moments. Waking up early when you'd rather sleep. Reading when you could scroll. Working when no one's watching. Speaking with kindness when anger would be easier. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you strengthen the muscle that builds a Stoic mind, a mind that cannot be broken by the world, because it is built to stand against it. And here's the beauty of it: discipline compounds. The things that feel hard today will become second nature tomorrow. And one day, you'll look back and realize that the things that once felt impossible are now your new normal. That's not magic, that's consistency. That's how ordinary days create extraordinary lives. The Stoics didn't chase greatness, they built it, one routine, one choice, one disciplined act at a time. And if you want to live by that code, start today, not grandly, but quietly. Do one thing you've been avoiding. Make your bed. Write a paragraph. Take a cold shower. Read a page. Tiny actions, done daily, shape a life that few can imagine. Because at the end of the day, your habits are your identity in motion. You don't become disciplined, you prove it, one decision at a time. Why do we let small things ruin our entire day? A rude comment, a slow driver, a missed opportunity, they grab hold of our emotions like strings on a puppet. And without realizing it, we hand our peace over to anything and anyone that bothers us. But the Stoics understood something timeless: you cannot control the world, but you can always control yourself. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." It's one of the simplest truths, yet the hardest to live by. Because most people don't react, they explode. They let their emotions steer their lives, like a storm dragging a ship with no anchor. So let me ask you, how many times have you lost control and later regretted it? How many arguments, mistakes, or bad decisions came not from what happened, but from how you responded? The Stoic approach isn't about suppressing your feelings, it's about mastering them. It's about becoming the eye of the storm, still, centered, unshaken while everything around you rages. When you learn to control your reactions, you stop being a victim of circumstances. You become the author of your responses, and that is real power. Lesson 6: Master your emotions before they master you. Anger, fear, envy, they're natural. But left unchecked, they destroy clarity. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Calmness is not weakness. It's control. The person who stays calm under pressure commands the situation. The one who reacts blindly is controlled by it. The Stoics saw composure as armor, not to hide behind, but to endure life with dignity and wisdom. Next time something provokes you, pause. Don't react. Breathe. Ask yourself, is this within my control? If it is, fix it. If it isn't, release it. You can't stop the wind, but you can adjust your sails. Imagine what your life would feel like if nothing outside of you could disturb your inner peace. No insult could offend you. No delay could frustrate you. No loss could break you. That's not detachment, that's freedom. And freedom, in the Stoic sense, is the ability to remain unshaken in a shaking world. When others panic, you stay grounded. When they react, you respond. When they rage, you understand. That's how a Stoic wins, not by controlling everything, but by controlling themselves in everything. So, the next time chaos finds you, smile. You're being tested. And every test you pass quietly strengthens the unbreakable calm that few ever find. Because peace doesn't come from avoiding life's storms, it comes from learning how to sail through them. When was the last time you failed, truly failed, and allowed yourself to feel it? Not the kind of failure you shrug off, but the kind that burns, that keeps you awake at night, replaying every decision, every moment, wondering what went wrong. Most people run from that feeling. But the Stoics, they leaned into it. They saw failure not as a curse, but as a mirror, a reflection of truth. Epictetus said, "The greater the difficulty, the more glory in surmounting it." And he was right. Failure isn't a dead end. It's a signal, a teacher disguised as pain, whispering, "This is where you must grow." The problem is, we've been trained to see failure as shame. From childhood, we're told mistakes mean we're not good enough. That if we fail, we lose our worth. But the Stoics knew that failure is not a verdict, it's feedback. It doesn't define you. It refines you. Lesson 7, embrace failure as your most honest teacher. The Stoics never feared mistakes because they valued truth more than pride. To them, the only true failure was refusing to learn. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you stumble, make it part of the dance." In other words, don't hide from your failures, use them. Every fall can become a step forward if you have the courage to look closely. When you fail, life is showing you something vital, your limits. But limits aren't prisons, they're blueprints. They show you exactly where to improve. The Stoic path demands humility to admit you don't know, to start again, to try once more with clearer eyes. The truth is, failure only hurts your ego. And maybe that's the point. Because the ego wants applause but growth requires silence. The ego wants perfection but life demands persistence. Every great mind, every great creator, every wise soul, they've all failed more than most people even attempt. The difference? They didn't stop there. They used failure as fuel. Each setback became a spark lighting the path toward mastery. So when you fail, don't say, "Why me?" Say, "Good. Now I know where to improve." That's what a Stoic would say. That's what resilience sounds like. Failure is not your enemy, pride is. The voice that says, "I shouldn't have failed," is the same voice that keeps you from growing. Let it go. Fall. Learn. Rise again. That's how strength is born. That's how character is carved. Because in the end, it's not the number of times you fall that matters, it's the number of times you rise with greater clarity, deeper wisdom, and calmer strength. So fail forward. Fail intelligently. Fail often and let each failure carve you into something unshakable. Have you ever felt lost, wandering through life as if you're just moving, not living? So many people drift, caught in routines, chasing validation, reacting to the world instead of shaping it. They work hard, yes, but rarely with intention. They live, but not on purpose. The Stoics taught that a life without purpose is a life half-lived. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." Life is long if you know how to use it. To use your life well, you must first understand why you're here. You must find your internal compass, the purpose that doesn't shift with trends, opinions, or circumstance. Lesson 8, live with purpose, not impulse. Every action you take should serve something meaningful. Every choice should reflect who you truly want to become. The moment you stop acting from impulse, from fleeting emotion or mindless habit, you gain control over your existence. Most people mistake busyness for progress. They fill their days with tasks, scrolling, social obligations, shallow entertainment, and yet, at night, they feel empty. Because activity without intention is noise, not life. The Stoics would ask, does this bring me closer to the person I wish to be, or am I letting life pass me by? Finding purpose doesn't require grand achievements. It starts small. It's in the clarity of your thoughts. It's in the alignment between your values and your actions. It's in asking every morning, what is truly worth my time today? When you live purposefully, time stops being an enemy. Every minute becomes meaningful. Every decision carries weight. And every day, no matter how ordinary, becomes extraordinary. The Stoics didn't chase happiness, they cultivated virtue. They didn't wait for life to give them meaning, they created it through deliberate action. So, ask yourself today, are you drifting through your life, or are you steering it? Are you living at the mercy of circumstance, or are you crafting a story you can be proud of? When your life is guided by purpose, you stop wasting time on the trivial. You stop surrendering to distraction. You stop chasing fleeting pleasures that leave you hollow. Instead, You live deliberately. You move with intent. You honor the only resource that truly matters, your time. Remember, your purpose doesn't have to be monumental to be transformative. It only has to be true. Only has to be yours. And when you align your actions with that purpose, the world no longer drags you. You carry yourself forward with clarity, power, and unshakable focus. Do you realize that most people will spend their entire lives waiting for motivation, waiting for luck, waiting for the perfect moment that never comes? And in that waiting, they watch their dreams fade, their potential slip away, and their time vanish into nothing. This is the final lesson, and perhaps the most urgent: stop waiting. Wake up. Work hard. The Stoics understood that life rewards action, courage, and persistence, not excuses, wishes, or empty intentions. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, don't act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good. Your time is finite. Your energy is precious. Your potential is enormous, but it will remain dormant unless you awaken it. The world is indifferent. It does not pause for your doubts, fears, or hesitation. It moves on, relentlessly. And here's the truth: if you want a life worth living, you must fight for it. Not once, not occasionally, but every day, in every small act. This is not about dramatic gestures or sudden transformation. It is about consistent effort, the kind that accumulates silently until one day, it becomes unstoppable. Lesson 9: Take ownership. Start now. Work relentlessly. Every day you delay is a day lost. Every task you put off is a brick left out of your foundation. If you want to be extraordinary, you must act with intention. You must rise early when others sleep. You must study when others are distracted. You must practice when others quit. Seneca said, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Every hour you dedicate to your craft, every choice you make to grow stronger, wiser, and more disciplined, creates your own luck. No one can do it for you. No one can hand it to you. You alone are responsible. So, wake up. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. Embrace discomfort. Reject excuses. Conquer distractions. Strengthen your mind. Master your emotions. Face failure. Build discipline. Live purposefully. Because all the lessons of the Stoics, all the wisdom of centuries, boils down to this one immutable truth: your life is your responsibility. And here's your reward for watching till the end: the knowledge that you are capable of far more than you have ever attempted. That you can rise above the ordinary. That the life you've dreamed of is within reach, but only if you act, consistently and fearlessly, today. Remember, most people will continue to waste their days. They will wait for luck. They will surrender to comfort. But not you. You've chosen awareness. You've chosen action. You've chosen to master your life instead of being mastered by it. This is your call to greatness. Don't just hear it. Live it. Breathe it. Execute it. Stop wasting time. Wake up. Work hard. And make every moment count.